Back, mate. Back. How you feeling?
Yeah, I was just saying it's a bit of a pain in the ass because I've got to use my phone for the last couple of weeks because I like how the laptop is. So I was just opening it, so it's like the Mac screens are fucking shocking, and I cracked it, and I went into the Apple shop and I'm like, how much is it to fix it? Like 600 quid. I'm like, no, and so
Uh,
I've just left it, and I'm probably just gonna get another one just because I'm not gonna spend 600 quid when you can get a new one for
yeah.
like oh just over a grand or whatever.
What happens if you do this with your phone? Like, so at the moment, have you got it that way? Or what way have you got it?
Yeah, that way.
Go that way? It's just made you like, no, 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 no. Yeah. Like, it doesn't
Yeah, I don't
change the
know.
orientation of it. It's
Maybe
fucking,
it's because we started. Maybe it's because we
yeah,
started it.
yeah.
I
That's
don't
what
know.
I feel like. Yeah, do you know what? I've never, I use like, mine's just like a HP. Like, I've never actually invested in a Mac. They fucking
Really?
always pissed me off. It was always it was like, yeah, 1,200, 1,500 quid. And I was like,
Oh no, I mean you can spend up to like 3 grand if you get
oh, yeah,
like
yeah, of course.
yeah. And that I'm that type. I'm like, I would spend just because I'm like, am I ever gonna use it? No. But I'm like, it's like with the iPhone. I'm like, you get the iPhone 15, it's like,
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I was just having a conversation a minute ago, literally fucking 2 minutes ago before we started, about my training collection. And I've got about 40 pairs, and each one of them costs like anywhere from like 130 to about 300 quid.
yeah,
When you work out, it's about like 5, 6 grand, maybe even more. It depends. And it's like, do I need to do that? It's like, sometimes you just fucking do that, right? Because I saw actually you bought some Balenciagas recently.
yeah. I got like two pairs of them.
I've been meaning to talk to you about this. I, you fucking like them, clearly. What? When I see them, I find them like the ugliest trainer in the fucking world.
Yeah, I mean that. I tell you what, I look at yours. Beck was saying the other day, Ryan, these fucking shoes he posts, how fucking horrible are they? I'm like, yeah, I mean, he likes them. Like, I wouldn't wear them. But that's why obviously everyone likes different shit. Oh fucking hell. Um,
Which ones did Beck say about mine? Because I feel like my ones are less controversial than the ones that you put up.
I don't know the ones that you had on your story.
I put
Let
loads
me,
up.
I don't know if you got them near you.
I've got this one. These ones I was wearing today. Like, I don't really think this is very controversial compared to the fucking color looks like.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That just looks like an Air Max.
Yeah, everything I post is Air Max. So it's like green tick, green laces.
Yeah,
Yeah,
green.
yeah. Look, come on. Yours are way more grotesque than mine.
Oh yeah, I
Let,
mean,
let,
mine
let,
are
let
like
me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If it didn't have that brand, if it wasn't Balenciaga, would you ever wear something like that? If it was Primark, like that, what would you
no, no.
do? There you go. This is what I mean. This is my thing. I don't think this is so grotesque that I would never
See, I
wear
got
that.
black ones as well.
Yeah, to me, that, do you know what, mate? I'll be honest with you, that looks like a bird's train.
That looks like someone was saying what did someone say? Like climbing shoes.
I don't even know if it's that. That's probably being a bit kind to it. Look at that back. It's got like a heel on it. Like this.
What about this?
Spin it. What brand is that?
McQueen, Alexander McQueen.
Yeah, that's better.
See, it's got the studs on it.
Yeah, that's a bit gay, isn't it?
But that's the thing. That's like the
How much?
huh?
How much?
They're about 500 quid.
Wait, listen, right? If this here, right, was not Nike, that is not a grotesque trainer. Whereas the sparkly diamantes or the fucking that bright green thing or that big heel, come on now. Is
Yeah, but
Bex
when you
there?
wear them,
Is Bex there?
no, she's downstairs.
Well, tell Bex to fuck off, right? Just go and glue.
That's what I said to her. I said, yeah, see, I think they're horrible shoes too, but I can see why he likes them because like we all like she's got a pair as well. Like, look down there, that's her pair over there. So she's got exactly the same black ones.
Oh, you got the his and hers Balenciagas.
Well, so I wanted them purple ones, but like they went on StockX for like 1,200 quid or 1,100 quid. So I was like, I'm not going to spend that because I was bidding on them. And
Yeah.
then the green ones come out, and I was like, I just get the green ones. But then flannels, they come out in flannels, and she got the black ones, and I really liked them. So I'm like, I'm going to get a black one as well. So, so yeah,
I went into flannels in Southampton. There's one that's opened up in Southampton.
in town,
Mate,
yeah,
I just I can't get my head around it. Again, like it doesn't really matter. Like it's just my opinion. This doesn't really matter for anything. Who gives a
yeah,
shit?
yeah.
But I just can't see why like a plain top with just a label is like fucking 300 quid.
It's just branding. That's all it is. But I tell you
Isn't that
what, though,
mad? Isn't that
I'll
mad?
tell you what, though, what I like to wear now is essentials because essentials is actually pretty cheap. Like you're paying 50, 60 quid for a t-shirt, like 100 quid for a hoodie, and you might be, oh, that's a lot. But it's not because people were buying these like gasp rag tops and shit for like 60 quid. So it's actually not.
Yeah, and I think as well, I feel like people's view of money is outdated. So like if a t-shirt costs 40 quid, people are like, "Oh, fucking 40 quid." What do you expect?
Yeah.
Like if you get a branded thing, it's going to cost money. Like, what planet do you live on if you think a branded top is going to be like 15 quid? Not is it?
Even like you said, even in Primark, even the Primark's not cheap now. You can't go in there and get a t-shirt for a fiver anymore.
Like when I said my mum, she'd be like, oh, "How much is that? Like that pair of trousers? Is that what? £100 for a pair of jeans?" I'm like, "Yeah, if you want to get a branded like item, that's just it." Like
Yeah.
we don't live in a world anymore where you're getting like £10 pair of jeans. I don't know, like I swear it's like this old person's view of like money.
I
Like
will say this though, when it comes to jeans, yeah, the only time I'll get jeans is when I go on nights out, right? So that's
yeah,
the only time I wear jeans, or like I don't know, whatever. So my jeans I get from Primark. I get in the women's section, and I get the jeggings.
yeah. The
They're the
stretch
best.
material.
Stretch, yeah, stretch.
Yeah.
They're slightly short, so you can wear them like slightly like above ankle, so they're like perfect.
Uh, I find them really uncomfortable. Those like the jeggings are like skin tight, right? And
Yeah.
they do move it. I get it, but I don't like things that tight on me. I always
No,
feel
but
like
then
when
would you rather wear loose jeans?
no. Like there's a middle ground. So it's like well fitted, but it's not like you
Yeah,
know.
so you can get like size 20 or something, so they're not as fitted.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, that would work. But then the waist would be massive, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you put a belt on.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
Sorry, my dog's been
yeah.
on. Wait, come here, come here. He fucking will not stop barking.
Like I think with the
Sorry, dude.
I think with the like stuff like the essential stuff or like essentials fear of God, like a lot of these like a lot of that stuff like represents as well. They're not that expensive. Yeah, they're like 60 quid maybe for a t-shirt. But you either do that or you spend 40 quid on a JP top to wear to the gym, and then you walk in the gym and there's 20 cunts wearing the same top. Like I don't want that. This is the thing. I don't want to wear a t-shirt. Same, that's why I used to like that La Familia stuff, because it was expensive, like for a t-shirt, 60 quid. But that you don't see everyone wear it. Like that explosive fibers, every fucking kid that's 9 stone wet is fucking wearing explosive fibers and JP and gasp and like I just that's the thing I don't like.
So you go through phases, don't you? You go through phases of liking a specific thing. Do you remember when you only bought Hera?
Well, I didn't only buy hair, but that was because it was like I used to find it in TK Maxx, and at the time, because it was like the older release, they'd like come down to like a tenner, and mate, they had like every fucking color, like they had all of them. So I literally just bought shitload of them.
Hmm. I seem to remember at a point you were only wearing that. I want to say only. I'm sure you wore other things, but it seemed like
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
wearing it all the time.
yeah,
And then
predominantly.
La Familia, and then now what are you wearing now? Not right now,
Mm.
but in general.
I, I'd say like I said, I would wear. I like Monster Factory, but that again, that's kind of starting to get a
Everyone's got
bit
it.
rinsed.
Yeah, everyone's got
Um, but that's just comfort for me. And I mean, I still wear the La Familia. Like La Familia, these are like the bottoms I still wear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but like, yeah, and then like I said, like when it comes to a lot of the designer stuff, I'll wear that out, but not to like the gym. Apart from like essentials, which like I said, it's not actually stupidly expensive.
I see a lot of that essential around. I see a lot of it around. Um, it's always the same type of bloke wearing it. It's like fuck boy, like you know what I'm on about. They got like sleeve tattoo. They're not like you, like you're fucking fully covered. They got like a sleeve tattoo. They got you know the fucking type I'm talking about. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
they have that like pretty boy look, and they just look like a bit of a fuck. And they're always wearing essentials.
yeah. Essentials, like yeah, that's that sort of stuff. I quite like to.
I feel
Um,
like you know the jeggings thing. Just I was sport that. I don't like to be too much of a stereotype. So when people see a big guy and you're wearing this thing that is crazy fitted, I always feel like you're playing into the stereotype. You know, like if
yeah,
you go out on a night out and you're wearing all like ridiculously tight shit, you just look like. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. That's
And
why a lot of the time I had a mate. My mate was like in the gym, and he was like, you know, if you wore tighter stuff, you'd look so much bigger. Like, I'm like, yeah, but I said, I don't want to do that. I said, I like the comfort. And also, I don't, I don't feel comfortable wearing that stuff that's tight. Not in the physically comfortable, but more mentally comfortable. The fact that
yeah,
everyone's going to stare at you and things like that. I'm like, actually, I said to him, the more you do this and the bigger you get, the less you actually want people to look at you.
so true. We went through this. Do you remember several podcasts back? We talked about this, didn't we? Like how when I was smaller, I would wear a stringer, just walking around
Yeah,
town. I wouldn't care. Now there's just no way.
no way.
Actually, do you know what though? It's like I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. So if I wear a vest just walking around, terrible. But then if I just wear something like this, it's a little bit shapeless, and I'm like, I I don't look massive. I know, like Amy's like, yeah, you do. I'm like, nah, I feel like I look like a more normal because it's like
Yeah,
it's not massively oversized. It's not crazy. It's just a bit. So it's like
it's
shapeless.
oversized enough to make you look not as big as you would
Mm,
if you yeah. And this is the thing as well. I don't know if you find that, but let's say you walk in the gym and you start getting a pump, but you're not quite pumped.
yeah,
And let's say you take your top off and you're like, oh, I look shit. And it actually plays into your mind and you actually look at yourself more than you actually focus on the training.
100%. You can get in your own head, and it can put you in a negative headspace, and then that negative headspace translates into like slightly worse concentration,
Yeah.
worse. You have a worse session.
Yeah.
Like how you feel has a bit of an reflection, has an effect on how you train. I really feel that way. Yeah,
That's why when you're lean, when you train and you get a pump and then you take your top off, your workout actually gets better. But that's
yeah,
because you start to see more and you do look better.
definitely, man. Like that's sort of like that's the thing with like off season and like whatever you want to call it, bulking up or whatever the fuck. I think the psychology of it's harder than the physiology. Physically, most people can eat more food. Most people love food, so it's fine for them.
Mm.
But it's like psychologically, you don't ever really get many wins, do you? You know, like you don't ever look that great. You always sort of look just. And I think that's the bit that I probably find the hardest. Like, I was thinking
I
about.
think I think also because your perception of what looking good is so far like warped compared to what most people think good looks good
Right, right.
is even worse for you because you're used to seeing yourself like striated and most people never see that stuff that on themselves. So it's even worse for someone like you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's you set your own like bar, don't you? And I guess my bar's set to a level that's quite high, and yeah, because deep down I know I'm not fat. I know all this shit. But it's like you lose that pop. Let's say
Mm.
relative to me, like 100% is like when I'm like 2 weeks out from the show, I've still got a bit of food in me. I've just had a high day or something like that. Like, and then everything else just feels shit, even though it's still quite high. It just feels like I'm like operating at about 70%. I don't know where I'm at now. Like, yeah, it's okay. Cruising, I'm on 300 tests. I'm like not doing anything crazy. I'm not pushing food too high. It's all just like, it's okay.
You
But,
find as well when you're like cruising or like for me because I've been off for so long now like just cruising
yeah.
and it's like I was saying to my mate the other day I said like he's like so what's the difference like being on and not being on I'm like mate it's massive because it's like even mentally, you just feel just completely different when you're on cycle to when you're not. Like, and it's like I went to the gym and we're training arms, and I said, look, we've done like maybe 20 sets of arms, and I'm like, my arms are pumped ish, but they're not like bursting compared to when you're on cycle. They are after a couple of sets.
So I definitely agree with that statement as a whole, but do you not also think that there's other variables playing a factor? So
Of course, like food and
yeah,
there's always other stuff, but the fact that you're going to hold more water and just what that on its own is enough to kind of enhance that look.
yeah, definitely. Hello. I think body fat level is one of the big factors. So I believe that I could be like, let's say I was 10 weeks into a diet and I was like fucking lean, even if I was only on like cruise dose. Let's say I was on like 300 milligrams of test. I feel like my pumps would be amazing
Yeah,
because the body fat's low and like you know what I mean. So I think what plays more of a factor than being on cycle is being leaner. Like the body fat is just that is it kills the aesthetic, you know.
100%, hundred
You
percent.
know, so
Yeah,
it's like it's not just one thing; it's both things.
yeah. But I do think now because I've never been off for so long. Like it's what 8 months now. I've been like I've never done that before. I'm
Yeah,
always like I'm always even when I'm cruising, like I'll cruise for 4 weeks. You know what I mean? I'm not what I'll be like I'll be like, right, I'm cruising, and then 3 weeks in, I'm like, right, that's enough. Let's go. You know what I mean?
yeah. So has it been? It's 8 months or so. It's been for you.
Well, yeah. So mid-April. So you got May, June, July, August. So 8 months. Yeah, 8 months.
Yeah. Since I've known you, I've never known this.
Never.
Never. Wow.
No.
You seem like hasn't really affected you psychologically. But again, like it's you can't necessarily compare because I feel like you had a bit of a mindset shift as well.
Massively.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So let's say this 8 months had happened last year. I think
Oh,
you would have struggled more.
I wouldn't have. But this is what. So I was chatting to my tattooist the other day, and he's and because off the back of a conversation I had with my mate at the gym, and he's like, I said to him like, I've dropped about 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Now I'm under 230. I'm like 227 this morning. It's like, so he goes, do you not miss being bigger? And I'm like, I do, but also the amount of work and effort that it requires for me to be at that size is so much more compared to basically barely doing anything and being at 80%. Because I still got my arms, like I still like, still
Yeah, yeah,
look like I train, but like I'm not nowhere near. But like I said to him, like I'll wake up, I'll have to eat a meal, and then you sit there thinking about the workout because obviously that then becomes a lot more of a factor. Thinking about the workout, then you train, then you feel fucked for the rest of the day. You don't really want to do much. You're tired because you're holding so much weight. You're constantly having to fucking think about your meals. Do you know what's mental? Like, I didn't eat till about 4 o'clock today, 4 p.m., and I just hadn't eaten.
yeah. Yeah. But you know what? It's funny because you say it being such like being really laborious, like oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, but it doesn't feel that way when you're in it. You know, like when I say in it, I mean psychologically.
Oh, it
It
doesn't.
feels
Yeah,
easy. It feels easy. Like to me, it doesn't feel like a chore. It just feels like this is what I do.
it just
But
feels like this is what you do. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. But
yeah,
like for me at this point now is I'm like I recorded like 3 fucking videos for the next like couple of days. Like I had to go out. Then obviously we come back. We had someone come and pick up one of the pups because we sold one of the pups. So it was like there was so much shit like going on that I literally didn't have the time. I looked at the time. I was like, fucking hell, I'm literally just like all day coffees, monsters, and fucking vaping. I just forget. So this is what when people say, "How do you like?" That used to be like such a mind fuck for me when people used to say, "I forget to eat." I'm like, how do you forget to eat?
yeah. Because yeah, priorities lie elsewhere. Yeah. So I think you actually, it's funny you say it because I wouldn't have put you as one of those people because you, by your own admission, Chip, by your own admission, you are someone who like really enjoys food,
Yeah,
and me not so much.
yeah,
So for me, I can easily go like I go to about midday sometimes, even right now. I
yeah,
go to about midday without eating because I'm like absolutely fine. I like my meals later on in the day,
Yeah.
and I'll go to midday happily. Wake up at about 7:30 to 8:30, somewhere in that region, and then I'll just go 4 hours without eating.
See, I used to love food, and now I'm kind of just like, nah, whatever. Like, I could miss it. I could happily miss it. Like, I'm at that point where I'm like, I couldn't. I think it's because I'm not training like that.
The
Like,
demand
so
isn't there for food, is there?
well, no, it's that I haven't got the appetite. I used to think, oh, if I stop training, I'm going to turn into a fat fuck because of the fact that my appetite's quite high.
Right, right,
But
right, right.
like the other night, I had to like do a bunch of stuff. I went in, I was looking at this card, and I went to see my mum in Southampton. I got back, it was 5 o'clock, and I literally had a shake all day, nothing. And I was like, well, I better fucking go train. So I went train for an hour at the gym, did a bit of chest, and like I just didn't want to eat. I was just like, whatever. But my energy's still really high.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting, mate. So, yeah, you in the last like 5, 6, 7 years, whatever, you've always considered yourself as a big eater. But
Yeah.
actually, it was always because you were on cycle and you were training, and it was creating the demand. That's interesting.
And I'll tell
Okay,
you
so
what,
what were you like before you were training when you were a kid? What were you like then? Were you
oh,
a fat
skinny.
kid?
No, skinny.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe you're not such a big eater
Yeah. I think when I started to train, especially when I started to obviously to go on gear, that's when I started to really be able to. So for me, like, so maybe that's just a genetic response, to the drugs. Like, it really does enhance your appetite. Like, I could eat and eat and eat all day long when I'm on cycle. But I bet you
then.
now, if I was to go back on cycle, maybe like I would, my appetite would kick back up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess it depends on what cycle and what you go on. Because
Yeah,
sometimes it can be suppressed as well, appetite. So I don't know. I can feel that turn happening for me now. So what I'm like 8 weeks since I've been dieting. So I've been 8 weeks in a surplus now,
yeah,
and I can feel it happening in my body. I can feel that I'm getting to that point where I'm like food's not easy anymore. It's not hard. It's definitely not hard, but it's the transitional period right now.
yeah.
Whereas 3 weeks ago, it was like I could rattle down way more, and now I'm like,
Are you
mm,
going to pull back a little bit and get that appetite come back? Or, because I mean, it
um,
only takes you like 3 or 4 days, like quite aggressively, and then you'll come back up.
well, yeah. So I don't think that I'm at a point where it's like bad. Like I'm not struggling.
Right.
So if I were to struggle, yeah, I'd probably maybe I might even just fast for like a day. Like just don't eat
Yeah.
for a day or something like that. Maybe have a little bit of protein, just regain it. I don't really know. Like
I don't think
it's
that'll
not.
work for you. I don't, I think you'd quite happily do that. Your body would quite happily do that. I think you probably need more like 4 to 5 days on like maybe just like protein and veg or something. And then,
Yeah,
because your
probably.
appetite's like shit anyway.
Yeah, it tends to go. Do you know what I think? The thing what makes it go is like off-plan type foods.
Yeah.
Like shitty foods. If I eat like if I eat my regular diet plan, it's typically fine. Is when I start going a bit off, you know,
Yeah.
chocolate or
You
fucking
know,
ice cream or
I think with the whole thing with the people that say they've got high appetite, I think the people that say they've got high appetite is because they don't actually ever eat enough food to the point where they actually get to that point. Because they'll say, "Oh, I've got really high appetite." Bro, you're eating 2,500 calories a day. Shut the fuck up. That's
yes.
not high appetite.
I completely agree, right? So the people that have got high appetite are usually quite small.
Yeah,
And because they're small, it means they can't eat a lot without getting fat.
yeah,
Do you see what I'm saying? So if let's say you've got like a 75 kilo guy, and he has to eat about 3,000 calories to like, just to maintain what he's got, and then 3,500 to grow. So in his mind, he's like, I can eat loads. It's like, but if he let's say he went up to like 6,000 a day, he's gonna be fat as fuck in a couple of months.
yeah, yeah.
So he
No,
always so he always has to hold back. Always.
I just don't think people can do it. I think again, he'll say, "Oh, I've got to eat 3,000 calories to maintain weight," but then let's say he'll do that for 3 days, but then he'll miss a couple of meals. Then he'll go and have a pizza, and he'll go, "I eat loads." No, because you've maybe undereaten for like 3 or 6 days or 7 days. So obviously, then at that point, you're not actually eating that much, are you?
I think people are really bad at reporting, uh, like false reporting. So like they lie, but they don't even realize they're lying. They'll tell you that they're proper on it, and they'll tell you that they ate this, that, and the other, and
Yeah.
3,000 a day every day. But a lot of people are they don't even know they're doing it, but they're fucking their diet up. You know
Well,
what I
this
mean?
is what. Do you remember we had that chat with one of your clients, and I think he weren't losing weight on like a certain amount of food,
Yeah.
but he was saying it was too much food. So I said, just change his food in a way that it doesn't look like it's more
Yes.
food, but calorically it is. So you obviously pick higher density foods that are higher in calories, but actually that it doesn't increase the volume, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
To see if he would put weight on.
So one of those guys, I had two guys that were making me scratch my head. Couldn't work out. One of them I've still got. The other one left, and he said he was going to come back. He said I've got. He had some stuff going on personally. But one of them, he's lost like 5 inches on his waist now since like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So basically something clicked. But do you know what he said to me? Just randomly, like really casually came out of this the other day. He was like, "Yeah." I was like, how are you dealing with the hunger kind of thing? You know, I was like, as part of the check-in. And he was like, "Yeah, if I'm hungry, I just go and grab a couple of roast some square bars and a protein shake."
Oh yeah, you showed me that. You showed us that, didn't you?
Oh,
That
did I show you? Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah.
And I didn't make a big deal of it because I thought I can't be bothered. Like, all right. Anyway, he said something else about 3 days later, and I said, "Well, to be honest with you, mate, the other day you dropped that bomb on me. You dropped the bomb on me that you're just cheating as and when you wanted." And he was like, "Oh, well, it's only when I'm hungry." I said, "Well, how often's that? How often's that?" And he was like, "Well, it might be like once a week, might be twice. I don't know, like, you know."
Yeah, I mean, if it's once a week, it's not the end. It's not the end of the world. But
But listen,
but then
bro, do you believe that it's
it
once a
depends.
week?
Huh?
Do you believe that it's once a week? Like, do you know what
No,
I
and
mean?
and also let's say you've put him on a 300 calorie deficit across, I don't know, like across like the week, right? So every day he's on a 300 calorie deficit. If he has two square bars twice a week, well, that means he's only really in a deficit. What 3-4 days.
And then let's say other secret calories, sauces, maybe a couple of drinks, sugars in his tea. I don't know.
Yeah,
Before
goes
you know
out,
that,
gets a coffee from Costa, and he goes, I'll just have like the one of the lattes or whatever.
yeah, and in their mind, like, they go, "Oh, sorry, it's only 100 calories." But if it's only 100 calories 2 to 3 times a day, all of a sudden the deficit's gone.
Yeah,
And then the other thing to take into consideration as well is if someone's pretty fat, they've got a lot to come off. So, like, only losing a pound a week, pound, a pound, a pound, a pound.
not enough.
Yeah, like 6 weeks in, it looks like you've got gained.
Yeah,
Even though the scale was lighter, you look, in fact, you probably look worse, as you well know, right?
yeah,
You
you do.
start
Yeah.
getting smaller, but you're not lean. So it's like, what the fuck?
Well, I think with the people that have a lot to lose, like when someone comes out and they're like, "Oh, I should," so and so says I should only use a pound a week. I'm like, yeah, but that's for people that are maybe 40, 50, let's say 50 pounds, like
Yeah.
not even stage weight. Let's say you're 30 pounds from being lean.
Yeah, like
Then maybe,
lean. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
then okay, fine. Pound and a half. But if you're someone that's got, I don't know, 120 pounds to drop, mate, you can fucking drop 4 pounds a week for 10 weeks, 15
Oh,
weeks.
for
And you,
sure. Yeah, definitely. It's always a bit concerning when you've got someone who's like you just said there. Let's say they've got 120 pounds to come off, and after like week two, they're complaining about how hungry they are. They've only lost about 3 or 4 pounds, and you're like, well,
yeah. And I
it's going
think
to be
they're
rough.
not hungry necessarily. I think what it is they're just hungry for the foods that they can't have.
Yeah, like cravings, and it's like habitual, what they're used to doing, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I do really believe in this as well. Like that, some people's genetics are just really, really poor for burning calories.
Mate,
Like,
I don't know because there are so many people that just abuse food all day long. They'll go and like, so there's I don't even want to like sort of give examples, but like they'll just go and smash like fucking pack of donuts like it's nothing. And it's like when someone like that comes up to me, I'll just say to them, look, what I want is for the next 2-3 days, write exactly what you eat. But I said, don't undershoot. Just be honest with what you have because I want to see. And when they write like, they'll have like loads of just shit. And I'm like, right, let's just remove a little bit of it. Keep eating the same way. Because it's like if you put someone from I don't know from they eating maybe 6,000 calories of just like garbage all day long, and you reduce them down to three, yeah, they're going to be hungry. Of course, they're going to be hungry. So I just think start by just pulling out some of the shit, and then you'll start losing weight.
Yeah. Again, I don't trust people enough. Like, I don't trust people to write down what they've been eating. I just don't. There's that program in there, that Secret Eaters.
Yeah,
I really love that program. I really love it
yeah,
because these people just they lie. They fucking lie. They're being followed, aren't they, by that secret like reporter. And there's cameras, and they literally say, "Oh, I don't eat anything. I don't eat anything."
yeah.
And then they like walk into that room, don't they? And there's all the food on the table they've eaten throughout the week.
They've eaten, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And they're
and
showing
like,
them like the screen, like the
what's
recording.
crazy, man? They're shocked. They see the food that they've eaten, and they're shocked. How
Yeah.
can you be shocked? You did it. What's
See,
the
this is the
shock?
thing. It's like with my dad, like I always say to him, because he's like, he's gotten really fat and he's got diabetes as well. I said to him, look, right, I said, look, you just eat too much. No, I don't eat anything. I'm like, well, if you didn't eat, you wouldn't be fat. So you're fucking bullshitting. So I said, stop fucking eating.
They don't even realize that they're lying. They don't realize they're lying. So like, here's the thing: if you were to put them on like a polygraph test, like a lie detector, they would probably pass it because they don't
Yeah.
believe that they're lying.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I remember one time my mum asked for a diet plan. It was probably about 5 years ago, and I was like, no, I don't know if I want to do it. And she was like, come on, help me. I was like, Mum, it's not going to end well. It won't end well. She won't do it. I'll get annoyed. We'll have an argument. Blah blah blah. You fucking did it. And she started losing weight, right? And I went to see her. And I watched her eat something because there was some birthday cake that was taken into the office. He took some home because it's like force of habit. Like if ever there's like some leftovers, my mum would just grab it. Yeah? And I watched her eat it, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to say anything. So
Yeah.
I can't be bothered with the argument. I just let it happen. It's all good. And then I don't know. A couple of days later, I said, "How's the diet going, Mum?" She was like, "Yeah, fine. I haven't beard off plan all week."
Yeah.
So you know, I saw you. You know, I was there.
Yeah.
And she just started like, if you know my mum, like I'm not talking to Amy right now. Like my mum, when she like cracks up at herself,
Yeah.
she started cracking up at herself, and she's like, ah, and she's like started going mental, and I was like, ah, like because she doesn't even know she's doing it. She's like she's lying without realizing, you know? And I think you know she's like, but yeah. So it's like I don't know. Some people can't be helped because they don't even believe there's a problem in the first place. They say that, don't they, about a problem? You need to accept it
Yeah.
to be able to change it. These people can't even accept it because they don't think they're doing anything wrong.
Well, there's people now that are like, oh, I've gone too far now to try and lose weight. Fuck it. You know, it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, I hate those people. They're the worst because that's just defeatist attitude. It's like,
Yeah, but it's human nature, isn't it, bro? Like, if you think about it, like, okay, think about this. When you've got like decent condition, when you start losing it, it's not very nice. You're like, oh shit, because you want to keep it a little bit. But then over time, that feeling fades. Then you end up going, oh, that's okay. And then, like, so what I'm saying is, like, over time, these people become very desensitized to the way they look, and then they just think,
yeah, yeah, you get
oh,
used to it.
yeah, it
And
just becomes like habit, you know?
or it's like a magic fix, like not even with drugs, but like now, especially with these like gastric sleeve surgeries and things like that, mate, they're like mental because it's like people will just go, oh, I'm just gonna get that done because you can get it
Right.
done for like 3 grand.
So, do you know about these things? Like, so what you know when they have the gastric band?
Yeah,
So, have you seen what they do specifically?
yeah, I've watched surgeries on YouTube.
Yeah, me too. Right. So, let's say the stomach is this big.
Yeah,
They put a band over and just allow this much of the stomach. They allow a tiny bit.
yeah,
So my question is, why such a small bit? Why not just half? Because you know what I'm on about. It's like they leave like an eighth of the stomach.
yeah,
Like so now the person who's just had it done only eat a tiny bit of food at a time. They have to start supplementing vitamins because they can't get enough nutrients in. So my question is, why do they only leave that small amount? I actually don't know the answer to
I have no idea, but I
that.
still think because you know, because some people will see that and they'll go, ah, this person only lost weight because they got the surgery, and I'm like, well, no, yes, that helped, but you got to remember, you still need to then not eat.
Yeah, but when they've had this gastric band, they can't because the stomach volume has gone from this to this.
I know, but they still can actually because I was watching this guy. Actually, it was on Secret Eaters, and he had it done, and he was like, "Oh, I ended up overeating," and you just feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I feel like these people have got like a psychological issue. So they have that done, they eat too much, and then they end up puking it up because
Yeah,
they can't handle it anymore. I actually know a guy who's had two liposuction. So he went to I don't know where he went, and he had it done, and he was like, "Well, I'm going to do this," and he actually ended up, funny enough, he ended up getting DMP as well. So he was on DMP, and then he had liposuction, and he's like, "Right, I'm fucking on it now. I'm on it." Then he got fatter than he was before. Like
yeah.
about a year and a half later, he was even fatter. So he went and had it done again. That was probably 4 years ago, and he's now same. Like he's just as fat as he was right at the beginning.
I think with the liposuction could have a merit if you're someone with the mindset, meaning so because obviously with fat cells they don't disappear, they just shrink. So if you get really fat, you've got more fat cells, and when you diet down, they just shrink. They don't
Yeah.
get destroyed. So, for example, someone like me that holds most of because I could be lean everywhere, you know what I'm like, and then my stomach will like my midsection is still fat. So if you could pull those fat cells out, then in theory, then obviously then you've not got them there. So
Yeah, I
that
get that.
could be
So Amy said that. She said that the fat cells will not come back at the same spot again. They will just
yeah
be distributed elsewhere.
yeah
So this is bad for me, right? So an area where I hold basically no fat is my chest. I hold such a small amount of fat, it's crazy. And when I had my gyno done, they fucking liposuction to my chest. So the little fat that I did have is now like it's not
gone.
going to grow there. Yeah. So then it's going to redistribute in a place probably that I'm more prone to fat, like in my lower back and glutes.
Do you reckon it
So
will though?
I don't know. But the point, what I cannot believe sometimes, and I never show Instagram this, never show anyone this, my lower back, bro, it's so fat. Like I get an overhang on my trousers. That's what I'm doing. Like my stomach is super lean, and then I got an overhang. You see that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just yeah. You've got a full fucking like 8 pack.
Yeah. And my lower back and my glutes, bro, fuck, it's like it's mad. It's so disproportionate. It's crazy.
I think if you're like not a bodybuilder though, you would think that's good.
Sure, I agree. For a normal bloke, this is great. But for me on stage, this is why I can't get much fat where I'm now. Like the level I'm at now
Yeah.
is about where I need to be because that is going to take ages to get off.
Mm,
Do you know what I'm saying? Like this could be lean in probably 5 weeks, but this is probably 20 weeks.
yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
See,
yeah,
my front is the one that's always the worst.
yeah, it's your midsection, isn't it? Your
Yeah.
abs, yeah.
Yeah, my abs, yeah.
What was your in comparison? What's your like? Can't really remember off the top of my head. Like lower back, glutes, hams.
Mate, my hamstrings I could see all obviously they're not like how yours get, but like compared to what they normally like compared to everything else, my legs come in like really quite well.
Yeah.
My hamstring, I could see the split in my all of my hamstrings as well. It was
Yeah,
weird.
isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? I don't know, man. I feel like liposuction for me in my lower back and my glutes might be a good idea. I feel like that would really help me out. If I could have that like a little bit less fucking fat, oh mate, it'd be unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, it's actually funny because I had this morning. This clinic messaged me. They're like a plastic surgery clinic, and they messaged me and they're like, "Oh, I just seen that you had a hair transplant." They said we've got a clinic in Turkey, so what we want to do is we want to bring you down, and you can obviously do content here, show off all of the procedures and all that we do. And he said you can get anything done, whatever you want. I said, well, I'm getting my teeth done anyway. So I was going to go back in January to that same
Hey,
clinic
Dave,
now.
one sec, one sec, one sec. Sorry, sorry. Wait, 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 wait. Stop it. Thank you so much. Sorry to cut you in there, Dave. Sorry about that, mate.
Might have to cut that bit out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really sorry, mate. Come on, carry on.
That's all right. But yeah, so and they do like made like everything. Like they do like the gastric band,
Yeah.
liposuction, tits, like anything you can think of. And they were like, "We'll bring you and your missus here, and then you can get whatever you want. We'll fly you out, the hotels, all that stuff." So it's like we need to have a chat with that guy tonight on the phone because she weren't
All
in.
right.
So I could literally go and get whatever the fuck I want done.
Is there something that you want done? You think?
Well, I'm going to get my teeth done. So I was going to get my teeth
Ah.
done along with my hair, but I thought, you know, that's a bit too invasive. And also, I had to stay in Turkey for longer, longer because they take a little bit longer. You can't just get them done in a day like you can with the hair transplant.
Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah.
So I need at least a week.
Okay.
So
But
I'm
is
going to
that?
go and get my teeth done.
Are you getting them all like grinded down?
I I'm not sure whether to do that or to do composite bonding.
How does it differ?
So one is like they just shave all your teeth down, and then the other one is where they kind of like lay. They're almost like they're like teeth, and they lay them on top of your teeth. They're like almost like it's like a composite veneers.
So will one last longer than the other? Is one like better? Like
Yeah, because you still have your own teeth.
yeah, but then what would be the best? I'm imagining. Bear in mind, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but because they grind them down and then put them in, I'm imagining that lasts longer. Because what? Why
Ten
else would you
years.
do that? Yeah.
10 years.
Okay. There must be a benefit of grinding them down, otherwise they wouldn't bother doing it.
I don't know. I need to find out exactly what the deal is, but with whether which one to go for. But I'm definitely getting my teeth done. And obviously, like I said, they've got like liposuction and all sorts. I'm not bothered enough to go and get anything like that done. And that fucking hurts. From what I've heard, it fucking hurts.
I, but I now hear that people get put to sleep done and done,
Oh,
and
I'm
I
sure.
wasn't. I was wide awake and I was just doing this in my fucking chest. I was feeling it up here. Oh, bro, it's horrible, horrible.
How does it work? What does it do?
So, have you ever? You've seen? I imagine you've seen it be done, right?
No.
Oh, okay. So, there's a little hole that they put in, just by the side of my pec here, and they put in a
What,
thing.
like a needle?
Um, probably about this big.
Right.
Big.
Okay.
Okay, so a bit bigger than a needle, and there's the fucking rod about this long, and they fucking. So what they do? So you would assume it goes up there like a vacuum. So it's like a cylinder. Put it in there, and it starts sucking. Hit
Fucking
the
hell.
valve. But here's the fucking kicker. And if you watch it on YouTube, you'll see what I'm on about. They're really rough. So the bloke's got the thing, and he's going. And in your mind, you're thinking, why are you doing it that rough? But I think what they're doing is they're breaking down the fat because it's like
Probably.
it's like bonded to your tissue, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
by doing this, it sort of breaks it up, and as it breaks it up, they suck it out. Literally makes
Right.
that fucking noise. It's horrendous. So this is
Wow.
happening, Chud. So I've got this um like cover. They've just got a cover here. So I'm laying down on my back. I've got a cover here, so I can't see what's going on, and I can feel this rod going right up to my collarbone. I can feel it going to my sternum, my collarbone. Okay. Where's the parcel? Oh, they're just in the doorway. All right, sorry, I wasn't talking. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, so I can feel it going all in.
How long does that take?
Uh, probably like just under 5 minutes per pet. But when you're wide awake and in pain, like 1 minute feels like an eternity.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was gripping with my fingers because it wasn't painful because I was numbed, but it was just so uncomfortable. I can't even put into words. It was so fucking horrible. So I was gripping onto the bed. And I was dripping with sweat, and I was literally like tense. And they're like, relax, relax, relax. I was gripping, I was gripping. Fuck, man, it was horrible, horrible. Go for it, yeah. Yeah, it was. I would not recommend it. It was fucking horrible, horrible. I think one of the things that made it horrible is obviously I wasn't asleep, but it was the fact that it's here.
Yeah.
Like how many important organs are in here, you know, and all like I don't know. So lower back would probably be better, probably.
Yeah, lower back shouldn't be too bad.
You would
Or
think.
you can, mate, I tell you what, when I went to Turkey and obviously the extra anesthetic that they put me on, because imagine they're pulling every single
Mm,
follicle out of your
mm.
head. I felt nothing.
Interesting. So I did feel something because so let's say that because when they did it to me, they put like injection. They did like 20 all across here. But each one, let's say it numbs an area this big.
Yeah,
Yeah, so each one numbs a small area across your
yeah,
head.
yeah, yeah.
It was like they were going into areas that weren't numb. So let's say this is the proximity of
Yeah.
what was numb, like what was numbed. They were like doing bits outside of it. And I kept like wincing, and they're like, "What? You shouldn't be feeling anything." And I was like, "Yeah, well, I can." Like they were doing bits that weren't numb. So it was horrible. You
Well,
didn't.
so I had that. I had the injections, but I also had an IV
Oh,
anesthetic.
oh, okay, yeah, that's different.
So
Yeah,
I had to get an extra. So when we went in and the doctor was like, look, he said we can give you extra anesthetic. It's like it's IV. He said
yeah,
I much recommend you get that because he said mate, you go to sleep almost like not
yeah.
fully to sleep, but you're almost like in a mild sleep.
Oh, that's way better. That's so
Oh
much
yeah,
better. Yeah, yeah,
that's why when people ask, did it hurt? I'm like, no,
yeah. Did you go through the itchy stage? Did the back of your head itch like mad?
no.
Not when it was being done. I'm talking about like in the weeks following.
Yeah, no, not too, mate. It hasn't like I couldn't even tell I had it done. Like literally, it's been so like the obviously the scabs came off. I obviously had to rub them off about 10 days in, and then after that it was fine. It's like,
What's the regrowth like? How many weeks is it since you've done it?
well, I got it done on the 1st of October.
Oh
So
yeah,
what is
yeah.
it?
You're still early. Yeah, you're still early.
8 weeks. But
Yeah, you're
mate, see
not.
how much fucking hair I got.
Yeah, bro. But you're not going to see full results until like 4, 5, 6 months in.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah,
Like
I know.
even longer, even longer.
Maybe that's just still my hair. Maybe that's just still my hair from
Yeah,
before.
it will 100% get better than it is now. I can tell you firsthand,
Yeah, yeah,
100%.
yeah. And mind
I
you, I had
remember I was probably 8 weeks in, and my hair actually looked worse. And I was like, "How the fuck? Like, what the fuck am I paid for?" So I remember calling them, being annoyed, and they're like, "No, just wait, just wait. No,
yeah.
be patient."
Yeah. But
And
overall,
my
I'm happy with it so far. It looks. I mean, yours looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, so my hairline used to be like, I don't know how do I describe it. It was just, in fact, you can pretty much see where it
Yeah.
like is a little bit lighter. Yeah, it was up like that, but just filled it in really.
Yeah. That. Did you have it all over your head, or did you just have one area?
No, just there. And I had a
Right.
bit on the top as well.
I had the whole head.
Oh, really? How many follicles?
5,000.
Oh, you had more than me as well. I had 3,600.
Yeah, I had 5,000, and they said to me the crown. He said you might have to come back and we get that done again because he said what happens is when you get it when you get all over, he said the crown actually takes up the most amount of blood flow. So he said we can put more, but he said you ain't going to benefit from it because they'll just die because there's no blood flow.
Yeah. So he said to me, this bit will be fine. He said, the crown is you have to massage. He said that to you as well to promote blood flow.
Yeah,
Did he say that to you?
yeah. But even still, because it demands so much blood flow, it's more if you're to put like hair follicles here, which they did, but he said not as much as if we were to do it a second time. He said if we do it a second time, it's going to be a lot better. So he goes, you're better off just if you have to. He said if you're not happy with how it looks in about a year, you can come back and we can get it redone again.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like I want to go and get it done again on the top. The top bit I'm really not happy with.
But you
But
know,
then part of me just thinks like maybe just accept it. Like I don't know, because it doesn't bother me like it used to.
no, I don't. I think it's important to have hair. Like, and people were like, "Oh, why are you getting it done? You've got the head tattoos." I'm like, look, because I want the choice to be able to have hair.
Hmm. Yeah, I get that. I get that. I think I cared more. So I had it done when I was 30. I had it done when I was 30, and I cared more then. So I wanted it probably 3, 4 years before that as well. So when I was about your age, is when I first started thinking about it. Then when I was 30, I had it done. And then now I'm like 36. I just care less. I can't, it's hard to explain. If it goes, it goes. That's what I think now.
So
But I
if you
think,
start losing your hair loads tomorrow, would you like in about let's say in 6 months you've lost half of your hair? What would you do? Would you go get it done, or would you just shave it off?
so if it happened dramatically, that might make me change my opinion. But I know, like right now, it's happening gradually, and I'm kind
Yeah,
of I'm at peace with it. But if it happened dramatically, yeah, maybe, maybe.
yeah. Because that's how it goes though. You know what it's like. You've got so much hair, and literally out of nowhere, just boom, it just goes, and you're like, what the fuck?
The worst one for me is like when my hair's got long at the moment.
Yeah,
It's like when I come out of the shower, it's fucking so wispy. Like if I wash it and it's all like long, it just looks so bad. When I style it, it's not styled. Man. When I style it, it looks okay. But the rest of the day, it looks pretty shit. Like it's not. It's fucking. I don't know.
do you still lose hair?
Not that much, but yeah, yeah. Like I remember when I was about your age. In fact, I used to be in the shower and wash my hair, and I look at my hands, and there'd be hair all over. Hair, hair,
Yeah.
hair. I'd literally see 5 in each hand every single time. Fuck. So, but it's slowed down now, definitely, definitely.
Do you reckon the gear affects it since you've had it done?
I feel like every time I do a prep, hairline takes a battering.
Right.
I really do. Um, I try and be objective and try not to be emotional with the way I think about it. Like I try and be like, no, hold on. Are you actually going more thin, or is this just your brain playing tricks on you? So I try and think about it, but yeah, it does. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt. You can't run 1,000 meters of master run for fucking 3, 4 months and not see anything.
True.
You know what I
And
mean?
what you are losing is you're losing the hair that you had before. You're not losing the transplanted hair.
Exactly. Transplant hair is technically you're not going to go down, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
But you only get so many grafts. Like you only get so many grafts. Like let's say you might have 20,000 grafts, and after they're gone, you can't then do it again.
Yeah, so it's all to do with your donor hair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said to me that I don't actually have that much donor hair either, so I'm a little.
Really?
Yeah, that's what again.
They
I
said
don't know, like if they're legit or not. That's what they told me at the time.
they said that to Josh. They were like, because Josh's hair was a lot worse than mine, I felt. And they were like, can we take some off your beard? And he's like, no, 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 no. He said, I don't want none taken off my beard because he's like, that's gonna fucking hurt. He said, just take the lot from the sides and the back. I always keep it short anyway.
Yeah, yeah. But do you know what? It's for years. In fact, now they don't. But every time I got my hair cut, everyone can tell because the skin's different. Where you've got all this scarring on the back of your head.
I don't have scarring.
How the fuck have you got away with that?
Maybe it's just different. Like my head feels no different.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, no, I got so much scarring on mine.
What do
Maybe
you mean scarring? Like, how does it look?
I'll show you. So you won't be able to see it now, but basically when I had it done, I'll get it up now.
Like my skin texture is no different to what it was.
Oh mate, mine was really different. That was why mine was so itchy, but you didn't get that either.
No,
Yeah, really bad.
maybe it's just a different method that they've used, or they've obviously advanced it enough to the point where they can obviously avoid a lot of that.
Yeah, well they used the same method where they bleach individual one out.
Yeah, yeah,
I've got a video of the back of my head. No, not really.
yeah. Because my skin doesn't feel any different on the back of my head.
Yeah, I've got a video of it. I don't know if you ever see.
When you touch the back of your head, does it feel any different?
Not now, no. But it did for a while.
Huh? Yeah, that's
There you go. There you
strange.
go. Let's see if you can see this video. That was the back of my head.
Oh, mine never went like that. Mate, mine was healed in like 2 days.
Yeah. So
Ah,
that was November the 8th, 2017. And I had
right.
it done on oh okay, that was 2 days after I had it done.
Mate,
But
I have to show you mine. I had no blood, no nothing. Like literally, it healed in like 2 days.
oh man, no, I had blood for a while, to be honest.
Fuck.
Maybe it was a bad job. Maybe it's just a bad job they did on me. I don't know.
I don't know. Like I'll have to show you because I've got the videos and that. Still, I'll send you mine. You'll see. It's
Yeah.
like
Well,
because I was looking at my head like straight after. Like I was looking at mine, and Josh said as soon as we came out to see if it's affected the tattoos. Because I said to the guy, I said, "Is it going to affect the tattoos?" He said, "Nah, nah, it won't." I'm like, "Good."
that's fucking annoying. I do. Part of me thinks, well, obviously you didn't take properly on the top as well. Part of me does think like maybe I need to go to a different company or something. So the company did say to me, if you're not happy, we'll fly you back out and we do it again.
Did you
They
get
get
yours done in Turkey?
that in Istanbul, yeah.
Right. Okay.
The company were really
Yeah, mate. It's
sound.
gone. That's obviously gone so long now that they're not gonna.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but mate, it's 2 grand. It's 2.5 grand. It's not
Yeah,
like tons of money.
no, it's bad now. As I say, I've like I said, I'm just much more at peace with it now. I think there's only one bit that really bothers me, and it is like the top bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah. That crown bit. That's always gonna be an issue. But I mean, to be fair, I reckon you suit your bald head.
so weird, isn't it? Like people's opinions, right? So yesterday, I was with my mate, and he said, "Your hair," and I went, "Right," and he went, "You've had better hair," and I was like, "Right," because that's a real polite way of saying you think that my hair's shit. He's like, "Yeah," he goes, "I just don't understand why you're growing it long and doing it. Why?" I was like, "Right." Anyway, and then literally yesterday, Amy said, "Oh, I love your hair. I love it. It's like my favorite hairstyle you've ever had." So it's just like depends on who you ask, right? So when I had a skinhead, some people were like, "Oh, it looks really good." Bloke said to me recently, he goes, "Oh, last time I saw you, you had a skinhead." He goes, "You look well old. You look properly like you look shit when you had a skinhead." I was like,
Really?
"No, yeah." So I don't know. I don't know what to think. I get such mixed reviews on whatever I do with my hair.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I guess you look quite different as well. So I remember like years back, you used to have like long, like what, probably about this long, maybe. Yeah, that used to suit you as well. But you
It was
had
like a quiff.
yeah. So you had a quiff, but you didn't have much. You didn't have much beard, and then you got rid of that. You had a big beard,
Yeah.
and then you went clean shaven, but you went shaven everywhere. You actually suit them all. You know that you suit them all.
I reckon my favorite look is clean shaven and like short, so like don't be this much hair.
Right.
But
Okay.
also, I only do that when I'm lean dieted.
Yeah, because your
So that
face,
could be
your
it as well.
cheekbones.
But also, I go to a point where my face gets so gaunt. You know, I've shown them videos
Uh,
where my face goes so gaunt that I just look ill.
yeah, there's a point in prep where you look good, and then there's a tipping point. Right?
Yeah,
It's like you look shit, and then you look like quite handsome, and then you're too lean, and then you look shit,
yeah.
and you just look skinny and like fucking drawn in, you know?
I think especially my face tends to like suffer more than other parts, meaning that
Yeah.
I tend to lose more of my face.
And what is that? Some people are that, isn't it? Some people like their face goes super lean, but they're still carrying loads body fat.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I've got a couple of clients like that. It's weird when you look when I see them in their check-in. I look at their face and I think, oh fucking hell, you look like you're suffering. And I look at their body and I'm like, No, you're all
Yeah.
right. You're fine.
Yeah,
You're
it's
fine.
like my face looks like a fucking like crackhead, but
Yeah, yeah.
then I've still got fat on my stomach. It's like, how the fuck does that work?
Mate, I was thinking of a question that I want to ask you, and I know the answer already, but I still wanted to put it to you. You know, in fact, let me start with this. When, what is the best food to build muscle? And I don't mean specific, like what item of food. I mean, what type of eating?
What type of eating?
And it's not a trick question. Like this is genuinely like what type of food will make you grow the muscle the best?
Well, like cleaner foods, like
Yeah,
cleaner carbohydrates. Yeah, leaner
clean
protein.
carbohydrates, good protein sources with great
Yeah,
amino profiles. Yeah, so we're in agreement on that. Everyone agrees on that.
yeah.
So why is it when people have a weak body part that day they'll have a cheat meal because they want to grow that body part? You've
I
heard of
think.
this, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
what's the logic behind that?
I think they think it's going to give them more energy.
But they usually do it like they'll like have a like, big leg day and then they'll go and have a five guys because they're like, oh, I need the five guys to go on leg
I
day.
think that they do that because they go, well, I've burned more calories doing legs than I would have if I did chest.
Okay, well, if you burn more calories, but we go back to the original point, the best way to grow muscle is by clean food sources, right? That your body's going to digest well,
Yeah,
right? So if you want more calories, you want to have another chicken and rice and veg.
because that's like an old mentality, isn't it? That's like a. It's not like new school. When back in the day, people didn't know. I mean, like people like Arnold and that they used to just like literally eat fucking cottage cheese and steaks all day long. They just didn't even eat any carbohydrate. And then once a week or like wherever, they'll go and just pig out.
Yeah,
So I think if you deprive yourself of carbohydrate for so much, and then cheap foods tend to be quite high in carbohydrate, that's probably why they feel, oh, that kind of refills me back up.
yeah, and I totally get it, right? Well, do you know what? Here's the thing. I know why people do it because it tastes good. It's very Instagrammable, isn't it? You
Yeah,
go and grab a five guys, like it's like that's why I get it. I'm not being ignorant. I'm not being stupid. Like I understand why people do it, but like, let's think about this. People always go on about digestion being such a massive part of how you can optimize growth, and people always go on about like proper food sources being better than shitty food sources. Yeah? So having these two things in mind, when you've got a body part that's lagging, why the hell are you having shitty food sources that aren't going to digest well? They're probably going to make you shit it all out. To me, this is
yeah.
backwards thinking. So this is
And
just something that bothers me. I've seen it a few times recently. It's like triggered me a little bit.
I don't know about you as well, but if I was to eat a pizza or whatever the night before, the next morning I actually feel more sluggish compared to, like, I don't actually feel better. I feel more sluggish.
I had a guy who's gonna. He said he wants to join me in January. When someone says, "Yeah, I want to join up," you're like, oh, "Okay, cool," and
Yeah,
then they go, "In 3 months," and you're like,
yeah,
"Fuck's sake." Anyway, I had that guy. It was about a month ago, and he's going to join me in January, February sometime. And he said, "I'm doing a strongman comp in January." He goes, and my coach every time I do a strongman comp before the night before, he'll get me to have like a big Ben and Jerry's. No, whole cheesecake and a whole pizza and a whole cheesecake because it's like more energy for the next day.
yeah.
And I said to him, I said, like, you do what you want. If that's what your coach is getting you to do, but is that really the best thing to do? And he was like, well, yeah, like loads of energy. And I was like,
So
mm,
these guys, have you ever watched Brian Shaw Full Day of Eating?
yes,
So Brian Shaw is 450 pounds. So for him to actually eat enough food,
yeah,
it's fucking hard. Like
yeah,
he
he's
can't eat
ginormous.
enough food. So he kind of has to resort to food sources like that. But you ain't Brian Shaw. You're 200 pounds. You're like competing in like the under 98 kilo category at 6'1". You're not fucking Brian Shaw.
100%. And this is that, yeah, people are very impressionable. But I just thought to myself, what this coach is actually prescribing his client to eat a cheesecake and a Domino's pizza or a strongman comp.
Because it's
Like,
it's
on
it's
what
a
planet does he think that's a good idea?
because it's marketable. It's the same when bodybuilding coaches prescribe 4 days back to back for a carb up for a client on 1,000 carbs, a client that weighs 80 kilos. It's like a client that weighs 80 kilos, there's no point you eating two McDonald's and 2 days back to back, 3 days back to back at like, and they'll go even higher. They'll go 1,500 grams of carbs gone in. Why?
It's
Because
fucking
it
mad
looks
to me.
good.
It's
Because it
mad to
looks
me.
good.
Yeah, it's like as you say, for someone who's like not too clued up, you want to coach. If you see that in your head, you're like, fucking hell.
Yeah,
Like you
he's got
think,
a secret.
yeah, this is some sorcery going on. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is some sort of like, wow. You know? Oh, I don't know. It's fucking, it boggles my mind, mate. Like I said, I didn't want to slag this guy's coach. I was like, you do what you want. But like when you're with me, that's not going to be happening. You know, if you want to
Yeah.
go for a competition, we're not going to be doing that. If you want something highly nutritious, it's definitely not a fucking cheesecake. But not just a slice of cheesecake, the whole thing.
A whole cheesecake.
It's like
Yeah.
2,000
Yeah.
calories just a cheesecake.
Yeah. I mean, with obviously with strongman, the aesthetic point of there's no aesthetic component,
No,
right? So
no,
so but then is that cheesecake really optimal for that performance
no way.
component? It's not, is it?
No way, no way. Again, like digest the same things apply. Like we want stuff that's gonna like our bodies are gonna digest well and we're gonna
Yeah.
utilize, optimize. There is no
And then
way.
all these powerlifters and strongman, they're always talking about how they always get the shits and all that. And it's like, well, yeah, no fucking wonder.
Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah,
you're
yeah.
eating donuts every fucking day, of course.
Tell you what, mate, this is a thing for me at the moment, right? Oh, it's mad. Like I don't know. I always think of myself as having like good stomach digest. Like my digestion's always good. I don't have any food allergies. I'm good. When me and Amy go for an off plan, so I'll go for an off plan with her, and literally before we've even left the restaurant, I need to shit. Like my I don't know what's going on, man. In the last like 6 months, my stomach just can't handle it anymore.
But do you get the shits or is it just like a normal shit?
It's one shit, quick. Let's call it a quick shit. You know when it like
Yeah, yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? And we literally sat in the restaurant and I can feel it coming. I can feel my stomach being bloated, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah,
And I'll go and so it's clearly not what I've just eaten because it takes longer to go through your system,
yeah.
but it makes me. It's like the clockwork, mate. Every single time. Boom.
Thing is,
So
I think years and years and years of just abusing food because that's what it is. I think that's where people develop IBS. Like if
I
you
think
talk
so.
to like JP talks about a lot about this, how he's like, look, I eat what I can digest because he's like, the problem is, he said, there are foods I just can't eat. He said, I'd want to eat bagels and shit, but he said, I just can't. I just can't.
100%.
Even certain fruits and certain stuff like that. He says, it just gives me IBS. So he said, I can't eat that stuff. And that just comes from years and years and years of just abuse of food.
Yeah, definitely. Well, definitely, like the taste buds change, like the way that you metabolize food changes with time. I've noticed it on myself. Even my taste buds have changed. There's certain foods I used to hate that I like now. And what I just explained about like digestion as well. It's like it's weird. It's like changing as I'm going through the years. I
I
don't really
think
struggle.
I think giving yourself breaks from food at times is actually really good. So like for me, I can't tell you the last time I felt bloated or I felt like uncomfortable because I just don't eat. So when you don't eat, your stomach's not having to digest and process shit.
What about so you know when you finished your show, then so that was April, right? So then like was there not a point like over the next 2 months where you felt oh there must have been one because of our eating challenge?
But mind you, I hadn't eaten anything up to that point. It was 2 o'clock. We went in air, right? I was fine. Remember, I came back, which was like 4 hours later, and I had a meal. Do you remember? Because I sent you a picture of it. I had just
Yeah,
like some eggs and that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but I came back and had a meal.
Yeah, I didn't eat for the rest of that day. I was done. I think I had
Yeah,
a protein shake when I went to bed. So.
yeah. So like I don't feel uncomfortable or bloated or anything like that because I just don't really. And like I said after the show, you remember I didn't put weight on.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's different, wasn't it?
I didn't put weight on, and at that point, I kind of just let it like sort of ride out. I didn't put much weight on. I think I put on like 10 pounds or like whatever, And then after that, I just kind of stayed that weight, and I just at that point I kind of just stopped
Yeah.
training as much and that. So at that point, my appetite wasn't even there. So I never even like rebounded or put weight on or anything like that.
Yeah, so it's been a long while since you even felt that. But as I say, my digestion is usually like spot on. It's just of late. I don't know why. Like I'm just, I don't know,
And
about
you do
myself.
fast quite a bit as well, because if you don't eat till midday, that's fasting.
Yeah, so okay, my average is probably my first meal goes in about half 10, 11
Right.
on
Okay.
average. So my last meal is about midnight, 11 to midnight. And so yeah, I guess I'm fasting probably 10, 11 hours every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of normal, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. But it's keeping me pretty tidy, man. I'm like not uncomfortable at all. Like my there's one thing that I don't like. I guess still I'm eating enough food. I've got a bit of a stomach extension. So you know we were talking about tight clothing earlier on.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I don't like tight tops is the stomach. You know, like when you're just relaxing and you're just like, and if
Yeah.
your missus might get a photo of you from the side or
Yeah.
something, and you're like, oh, fuck's sake, you know what
Yeah.
I
But
mean?
mate, you got to remember, you're eating what, 4.5, 5, 6,000 calories, right?
About five and a half, maybe. Five and
Yeah,
a half.
that's what I mean. So every single day, right? If you put that in a fucking bag, that food that you've eaten across that day,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
do you know what I mean? Because people think, oh, you eat and they talk about digestion, but they don't get that. If you eat something like a steak, for example, it doesn't
Yes.
just go like that. You're not digesting it like that. It takes like up to 24 hours.
Yeah, sure. That's so true. If you were to like, this is one thing that people can't seem to differentiate because when people have a bloat, they couple that with like, let me rephrase that. How many people have you come across, and women, I will say it's normally,
I know what you're gonna say.
yeah, they say
Bread
that
bloats me.
they say that they're bloated, don't they? But you're
Yeah,
so right. Imagine your daily food, grab the bag, you put it all in. Physically, it's matter, isn't it? It's matter that is in your stomach. So when people say they're bloating, very often it's just food in your stomach.
yeah.
It's a big difference, right? It's a big difference.
And like intestinal mat, like when you start dieting, in the first week you lose what, like 4, 5, 6, depending on how heavy you are. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
lose
yeah,
up to 10 pounds.
yeah.
That's not body fat. It's
No,
water and basically shit that you just shit out.
yeah, yeah. Like food volume, food volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's so weird, man. That is such a thing, and people assume like whenever someone talks about their own like composition, if you ask someone how lean are you, they always look at their abs as their marker. You know, it's not really that, is it? There's not really much to do with body fat. There's a lot of that. It's just like how much food is really. You know, if I were to have like three big meals now and then pull out my top, abs are gone
Oh, you
because
still see
it's
them.
all
You can
just
see,
pushing.
even that time after that Five Guys, you can still see them.
All right, yeah, maybe, but yeah, fuck. The difference, like in the morning, abs are like really. I've just fasted, right?
Even now, when you can see
Yeah.
them all.
I'm three meals deep at the moment. You can still see them, yeah. So.
Most people don't even see that what you've got now up to like 1 week out.
Yeah,
No, but it's
as I
true.
say, man, it's deceptive. My lower back.
Yeah, and yeah, yeah, it is. But like I said, for you, that's obviously not an accurate measure of how lean you are.
No, definitely not. Yeah, it's really. I can get away with seeming leaner than I am because I put up a photo on Instagram and I've got like striations through my delts, my chest, my abs are showing. It looks like I'm quite lean, but I'm not. Like it's a bit false, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're still, what are you at, 280?
283.
Right. So yeah, so you're technically actually only about 25 pounds above stage weight. So that's, I think that's how you got to look at it, because I bet you 10 pounds of that is water.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's true.
really, you're probably only about 15 pounds off body fat wise.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
So because compared to most people, they're probably at any point in the year they're probably about 40 pounds over, like over, maybe
Yeah, yeah,
more
yeah. 40 pounds of body fat, probably.
body fat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be why. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
I think this.
so
Sorry, mate, go on.
now you go.
This is just like a real big message I'm putting across on my Instagram all the time now. Like it's like the narrative that I've got. so many people talk about bodybuilding being like so physically hard and so grueling and prep being like hardest thing you'll ever do. And my thing is, it's all because you get too fat. Like I know we've talked about this quite a lot, but I can't stress it enough. If you don't get fat, it's not grueling. It's never grueling if you're not fat. And this is
Yeah,
why
but do you not
I
think?
remember when I first, sorry, man, I remember when I first started bodybuilding, I used to see the pros. And I used to wonder how they're doing it so easily. Because I remember my first prep was grueling because I'd never experienced it before. I used to look at people like Dex Jackson, fucking Sean Loden, like back when I was first competing. How the fuck are they doing it so easily? How? How? And it's because the more you do it, the less body fat you amass, the easier it becomes. Da, 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 da.
But do you not think as well? You know, when you see someone that's like, oh, someone like Lewis Breed, for example, he is on ridiculous amount of food, even in prep. But do you not think like it's the body fat? So when you get down to that lean, so like single digit body fat,
Yeah.
at that point, you're going to feel shit no matter how much food you're eating, just
Yes.
because of the lack of body fat.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the big. Yeah. 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 Agree. Agree. It's like people assume that it's a lack of carbs, and it's like, nah. If you're fat, but you have like a low carb week, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be absolutely fine. It's all to do with how much body fat you got. You're right. Absolutely. It regulates your
So,
mood. It regulates everything. And sleep as well. I just think like one of the things that shooting people in the foot is that you speak to any young lad coming up in the gym, they all want to be big, 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 big. Everything is about being as big as you can be. Most muscle, 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 big, big. But that is, as much as I get it, but that is the thing that's shooting people in the foot. Because they go to off season and they want to eat more, eat more, eat more, eat more. They want to be big, 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 and they get too fat.
yeah.
Then when they start coming down, they eat less, but they all of a sudden they start to feel small. So, oh shit, fuck this. And they start eating more again. You know those people who can never quite do it. They start, and I hate to say it, but Alex, maybe Alex, if he was here right now, if he was talking, he would say there's other reasons, and he might be right. But in my opinion, I think Alex doesn't like feeling smaller, so he wants to
Yeah.
get back up again. Yeah. So they get a bit smaller. Fuck this, bigger.
He also doesn't really know how to diet. So I'm doing his diet now, and he looks so much better because he thinks he's one of these people that he'll always be like, I'm dieting now. So he'll do what those like fat people do.
Yeah, yeah,
He'll
yeah,
just eat anything and everything. And then from day one, he's like fish and like
yeah.
half a packet of
Fish and rice
rice.
cake.
Mate, for half a packet of rice, fish, and 10 ml of olive oil. And I'm like, you can't do that. And then he will almost like drive himself into looking shit because he undereats. And I'm like, no. I said, you need to eat way more than you do because you've got so much muscle. And now he's like, how the fuck am I eating so much? Which for him is like he's on about 3,200 calories and he gets an off-plan meal. And it's like he's getting leaner. And I'm like, well, it's because you need more food.
He's never done it this way before, so in his mind, I bet he's blown his mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's working.
yeah. But this is the thing, yeah. So what you just described there is, as I say, the thing that shooting people in the foot is they're so scared to not be big.
Yeah.
They do extreme things. So I want to be big, right? I better have a five guys. I better have a.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
do legs. I better have a five guys. Like
Yeah.
when they start dieting down, they feel small. So I better eat a bit more. Like and everything's just extreme. It's always too much. Whereas actually, he just needed someone to be like, no,
And it's unrealistic expectations as well because for him he was like, oh, he when I was first looking at him, he's like, how long do you reckon before I can be like really lean? Like he's like, would you say about 8 weeks? I'm like, nah. I'm like, mate, more like 20.
yeah, and that probably psychologically didn't do him any favors, probably.
No,
Because it,
well, I said to him probably 20, but I said done in the right way. I said, yeah, you can take off 30 pounds, 35 pounds in 6, 8 weeks. You can the way you do it. But I said, you're not going to look the way you want to look. I said, you're going to
yeah,
look,
yeah.
you're not going to be happy with how you look. I said, take 20, but do it in a way that you actually end up looking really good when you take them 30 pounds off.
So true, man. So true. There's such a dramatic difference in the look. dropping 30 pounds the right way versus dropping 30 pounds in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like how different that looks. The amount
Because
of
we
clients I've
can all
had,
do it. You
yeah,
can do it, but it's not.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Very rarely is someone going to rush the process and look their best. It might be possible, but it's pretty rare. If you want to retain as much muscle and retain fullness and actually have the look you want, it just takes time. There's no way around it.
Unless, I mean, like you can do it. You can do it the prep in 8 weeks. But one, you've done it so many times, your body knows what to do. And also you've got so much muscle and so much like to the point where you don't even carry that much body fat. Like we just said, about 15 pounds of body fat. You can do that in 8 weeks, easy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't know if I think of myself as like a really fast responder, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I just don't get that fat.
You
You know what I
don't.
mean? Like, or maybe it's a mix of both. I don't know because there's nothing crazy happening with the fact that I change fast. It's not some like mystic shit, is it? I'm not that fat. So if
Yeah.
I'm not that fat, it's going to be quicker, right? That's what it is. So I drop a bit of water weight and I drop a bit of like stomach volume, and then all of a sudden I look lean. You know?
Yeah, you're just not that fat to begin with. So even after about 2 weeks, you look drastically leaner
Yes.
just because of the fact that you've dropped a load of water and stomach
Yeah.
volume and that. So you actually just, you
Yeah.
know,
That's it, man. That's it. Yeah, so there's nothing crazy going on other than the fact that I'm just not that fat in the first place. As I say, man, if people weren't so eager to get big and therefore eat too much, you must have come across it so many times in the past. Like you'll start with a client and they're like super fat. Like it's because they don't think they're fat. They carry a good level of muscle, but they're carrying loads of fat as well. Because in their mind, they just want to grow, 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 grow. It's like fuck. I don't know. Actually, on the flip side of that, what do you do when a guy is like skinny fat? What direction do you take him in?
skinny fat with muscle, like with decent amount of
No, no,
muscle,
no.
or
So
just
let's
like,
say, let me give you an example. So let's say they
or
want
like an
a,
Indian kid, like the typical like Indian kid look.
yeah. So yeah, like stomach is the same width as their shoulders, like the same
Yeah.
amount. Yeah, they're about 75 kilo, not much muscle, and about 20% body fat. What'd you do?
Well, in that time, if you're skinny fat, that just suggests that either you're a beginner of training, or you've been training but you've been training. You know, you're not been training properly. You're not really pushing yourself. So in that way, I wouldn't put someone in a deficit. I'll probably put them at maintenance, and then actually make the training the focus. So I'll be like, right, if you're now pressing the 17 kilo dumbbells, let's make sure we start actually training hard and get stronger and getting proper training, and you start to see them start to respond.
Hmm. That's interesting. That like I never. I guess it's case by case. You can't just say a blanket
Yeah, yeah.
statement. Yeah, but there's
But
a
if
guy
you're,
recently.
well, let me ask you this: if someone's skinny fat, they've got no muscle, but they're also fat, but they're not fat like overweight, stupidly fat, but they're fat for a bodybuilder, I guess, right? They've got no muscle, which makes them look fatter than they are. What would you diet off of that person? You can't. If you've not got the muscle, you haven't really got the metabolic rate to support a deficit.
So true, man. They start. I've got a guy. I've got a guy, and I've just reversed him now. So he was 90 kilo, but he was not
Yeah,
carrying a lot of muscle, and he got down to 78. But he didn't look good. Like he
yeah.
had to take some of it off. Honestly, I couldn't justify him going into surplus because
No.
his lower back was carrying so much. So I was like, I can't justify that. So I took him down to 78, but he looked so drawn in. Legs are like 20 inches. It's crazy. Like, ugh. So yeah, basically, as you just said, yeah, big focus on actually training, like actually
And
training.
and
Because
yeah.
so many guys are just going to the gym and they're just ticking over, ticking over. You know?
And the other thing I say, which people hate, I'm like, this ain't gonna just take one diet. I said, we're not gonna do 12 weeks. I said, you're probably about a year and a half away from actually looking semi-decent. Because, or even if we diet down now, it's gonna be a couple diets until you actually start to look, and it's disheartening for a lot of people because they'll come down, you'll do something magic, like some magic, and they'll look really good in 12 weeks' time. And it's like, nah, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Almost word for word. That is what I had. Yeah. Every time Tom walks past my house, almost word for word, I said the same thing yesterday. Word for like, this isn't going to be a. Think of this as a cycle. You go down, you go up, down and up,
Yeah,
and each cycle you're going to take 2 or 3 cycles before you're going to really see it. And every time that you come down, it's a bit better. You go up, it's a bit better. And the next time, a
yeah.
bit more, bit more, bit more, bit more.
And then they'll
He,
go, well, what if I go on cycle? I'm like, that ain't gonna make no difference because I'm like, you just need that muscle, that base of muscle, which you're gonna gain naturally anyway. But you can do it. You can only do it so fast. But when you're a beginner, you gain muscle pretty quickly.
so I'm going to show you the example of what it was, but I'm going to cut his head off. I don't want him to. Right? So here was when he was
Is he
down to seven.
Asian?
No.
Oh, white kid.
Yeah. So this was him. I'm going to cut his head off though, so he's like, so it still stays anonymous because I don't want to like make it personal. Just want to show you the examples. So he asked me as well how long until he could look like this guy.
I love it when they go, how long till I look like this guy? And I'm like, bro, this guy's been training for 10 years and he's actually got a lot of muscle. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You don't really want to know the answer. So here he is. This is the guy. He came to me at like 90 kilo, and I took him down to 78. And this is what 78 looked like.
but that looks good though. I mean, I don't think you'll look at him and go, oh, he looks terrible. I think that looks really good actually.
That's pretty cool you say that. But for me, it just looks like he looks like he's empty. He just looks like he needs to grow because he doesn't have the muscle mass to support being that small.
Yeah, yeah. As in, what I expected is actually almost like a kid that just looks that has like no muscle, but he's just literally just all fat. Like, you know
Ah,
the ones
okay.
I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, for me,
But I
it
mean,
was this.
he's still got abs. He's still like, you know.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Do you know what? I was expecting you to be more harsh because normally you're harsh.
Well,
But
I would
yeah,
have been if I'm harsh, but this is the thing, right? I'm not just like harsh for the sake of being harsh. I think I'm fair in the way that if I look at something and I'm like, well, actually, for where he's at, for how long he's been probably training, for the fact that he has obviously done that, he's probably never dieted. How many people actually achieve that? Not that many.
I guess so. I guess you're making me see it in a different light. For me, I saw that his abs started to come through, but when he first came to me, he had nothing.
Yeah,
So the fact that he looked like that, now I'm like, you know, we haven't got, there's not enough muscle, so we've got to go up. But he asked me,
absolutely.
he said, how long do you think it would take to look like this?
Oh, mate.
And I said, I don't know
This
how it
guy
comes
has
across.
so much muscle. This guy has so much muscle. He's probably been training for 10 years.
So yeah, I don't know how it comes across there, but what I can see here, like in person, I said to him, I said, honestly, you're probably 8 to 10 years away from that. So I said that. I
Yeah,
said that the reality is like his level of thickness is a good 8 years away.
maybe five, depending on like, but that's just density.
This guy's thick. Yeah, he's thick.
Yeah,
But then I sent him a photo of my other client, and I
yeah,
said that is probably about 18 months to 2 years away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know because that chest is pretty good on that guy. So, and that guy has no chest.
None. Yeah. I mean, it won't be like for like exactly, but like in the same
Yeah,
ballpark. In the same ballpark.
yeah, yeah.
So,
And another thing
yeah.
is like when they send you a picture and they're like, I don't know, send you a picture of someone that is like 6'2", and the guy's like 5'8", and I'm like, mate, you'll never look like that
You're never. Yeah, definitely. One I always get actually is Mike Thurston. I think a lot of people want to look like Mike Thurston.
because he's natural.
He has got a really aesthetic look in it. It's like not, and everything's proportionate. Big chest, nice arms. But in
And he's been
reality,
training how long? He's been about for about
yeah,
5, 6 years, let
it
alone
must be 15 years of training. You know what I
probably,
mean? Yeah, probably. He's like in his
especially if he
30s.
is natural.
It's like, and here's the reality, right? How many people ever look like Mike Thurston in their life?
Yeah.
0.00001, So what you want to say is you're probably never going to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're probably not. But what you have to say is like, yeah, keep going, keep
Yeah. Yeah.
trying.
Yeah. If
But
you
in
have to
reality,
ask,
yeah, no,
how long do I look like so and so? You're probably not going to find you're probably not going to need to hire a coach because you probably naturally kind of look like that anyway. Quite an
oh,
athletic,
yes,
muscular look from just from a kid.
yeah. I feel like yeah, you can kind of tell. Like certain kids, like there'll be certain
You,
kids who have like a chest already.
bro,
They had
yeah,
the bottom part of a chest already before they
yeah.
even went into the gym. They got a little bit of a delt cut, and you're like, what the fuck?
Like imagine someone showed someone that picture of you that you posted today,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
As a kid, and said, "Oh yeah, this guy's going to be a 200." If someone showed me that picture and they were like, "Yeah, this guy's going to be a 260-pound bodybuilder on stage," I would be like, "Yeah, fuck off, no way." I would have put money on it. I would have put money on it.
100%, right? Yeah, I mean, because I was the same. The funny thing was, I was the same height in that photo.
Right?
I think I was like 14, 15, and when I was 14, I had a growth spurt. And I got to 6'3". So that's
Yeah,
why I looked so gangly. I looked awkward. Um, yeah, so I was the same height in that fucking thing. I don't even know my body weight. I must have been like
80
70,
kilos.
70 kilo, six foot
Yeah.
three and 70 kilo. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So, um, yeah, like, but you don't know your genetics until you try. Like,
True.
have you seen Nick Walker? If you see Nick Walker, if somebody said this guy will be the most muscular guy on the Olympic stage, you'd go, no way.
Yeah, but I think also what you forget is Nick always says, look, I was 230 pounds in high school.
Right. That's
So
fair enough.
everyone
But
always shows that picture of him when he's like, just looks really bad in that first show. And he goes, actually, don't look at that picture because I got in with a coach who wasn't any good. He didn't know what he was doing. He over dieted me and I got to like 180 or like whatever, right? But Nick was like, or not even 180, I think he was like 160 or something. But
yeah,
Nick
yeah.
was like, actually, I was 230 back in high school.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Shit, okay, let me have a look.
Yeah. So
Nick
Nick was
Walker.
like, Nick always says that he was 230 and he just got really badly over dieted.
Oh, okay, so this is him when he's young. Okay, yeah, you can tell.
Because then next year he was like 230 on
Yeah, so this is
stage,
the
or like
photo that we're on about.
not
So
on stage. Huh?
this is the one that everyone chose.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's like, actually, that's not me. That's not I just really badly just got really badly over dieted.
Ah, okay, okay. So it'd be interesting. Oh, fucking hell. I don't know. He looks quite young here, to be fair. He was like bulky as fuck.
That's what I mean.
Okay, maybe that's just a bad photo, but still,
But no, your point does stand, yeah, for
yeah,
sure. It's but rarely do you see someone that kind of starts off really skinny and or they do, but it's going to be like you. It's going to be an uphill battle the whole time.
yeah. I think you generally know. I remember seeing a photo. Have you seen that photo of Lee Haney when he was younger?
Yeah, mate, or Phil Heath.
Oh, yeah, Phil Heath on the basketball field on the
Yeah,
pitch. Yeah, like,
he looks like a bodybuilder.
yeah, mad, mad. Some people are born for it. It's quite hard to get that through to some people. Because you and I we've been in the know for a long time. Get it? We get the nuance between like genetics and effort and time and hard
Yeah,
training. We understand it to a greater degree. When you're trying to explain that to a client who's like only 6 months into training, it's quite difficult to get your point across.
but
Like,
equally on the flip side of that, I think now it's trendy to blame genetics and to almost play the victim and be like, "Well, I got shit genetics," and it's like, well, actually, maybe you haven't got the best genetics, but maybe your effort is actually subpar, and it's actually you're probably putting 20% effort, and then you go, yeah, but I've got shit genetics.
yeah. And you know what? Like, unless you're like when we talk about Phil Heath or Lee Haney, we're talking about like the elite of the elite.
Yeah.
Like, this is unrealistic for everyone. So forget that for a second. Most people don't know what their genetics are until they try. You have to be a year or 2 years in to understand what your genetics are.
Also, when it comes to genetics, there are many different prongs to genetics. It's like it's not just like one thing genetics.
Oh no.
Like some people, like you, for example, you have the genetics for getting lean and dieting down and things like that, like, right? But on the flip side, putting weight on for you is pretty difficult
Yeah, yeah,
because
definitely.
it's the appetite thing is a big thing as well.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
drug response, because you get these guys that are like, oh,
Yeah,
you wait till I go on gear, I'm gonna blow up. And it's like they go on gear and you're like, I'm still waiting. It's like,
yeah, so true. Yeah, yeah, it's a blanket statement, isn't it? I've got good genetics. Well, good genetics for
yeah,
what? Good genetics for what? As you say, there are people that are hyper responders to drugs.
yeah.
And I think if you're a hyper responder to drugs, then you're gonna fucking go far. You know, because and the reason why I say that is because you're gonna remain healthy.
Yeah.
But if you've got a fast gear, your shelf life is smaller, right? So
Well,
if you can eat less food and do less gear but get the same result, that's the key.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
Someone asked on on the other podcast, oh, what does it take to get to 300 what does it take to be a 120 kilo bodybuilder, or like what does it take to get to 300 pounds? And I'm like, if you have to ask, you'll probably never get there because we've all seen like this black, like some black kid in the gym that literally is 300 pounds, and you ask him like, what do you do? And he goes, well, I don't know, I don't do anything different to you, but they just put on weight easy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then there's the skinny kid that just no matter what, just never put weight on.
I'm always like amazed by that. Like, there's some people who, to be honest, I've had clients over the years, and they've been with me for like 18 months, and they've been meticulous with what they're doing, and the results are okay. They're good. Like they're not bad results, but they're not much, right?
Yeah,
And then you've got some guy who's never tried. He's like, he trains what he wants. He doesn't really track food. He just makes sure he gets a bit of protein in, and
yeah,
he's just strong, and he's thick, and he's big, and like you know what I mean. And it's like it's not fair, but that's life, you
yeah.
know.
But maybe it's not fair. But maybe he's good at something else.
Very
So,
true, very true.
so to me, at that point, I would, and as harsh as that is, do something else,
You know that guy?
especially with the amount of effort and time and money that goes into that. Why would you do something that you're actually never going to be good at, remotely good at? And let's not even say average good. We mean you're never going to be any good to the point
Yeah,
where you go on stage and you can't even make top three, top four in a subpar lineup. It's like
yeah, I agree,
do
man. You
something
know that
else with
guy?
your time.
You know that guy that we always talk about? Also, don't want to name. It's a bit harsh.
Which one?
That guy that we talk about having the worst genetics.
Yeah,
You know, he's been in the WhatsApp group in the
yeah,
Instagram
yeah,
group.
yeah. That one. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's like why? Like, look at the stress you're placing your body under. Like, it's potentially taking years off your life. Something that you are incredibly substandard at. You know, I think.
years of your life and not really adding much to your life because in that time that you spend fully committed to bodybuilding, you could be doing something else that you can
100%, yeah.
actually be good at.
You know, as well. Stop it, stop it. I think one of the reasons why I really took to this like whole lifestyle, like fitness thing in general, is because I was good at something quick. So, and I think you can relate. You know how easy you and me got strong. It just happened. I didn't have to program anything. I never followed a program for anything. I was, up until
Yeah,
like 26. I never tracked my food. I went out every weekend, and I still managed to like squat 250, bed
yeah,
250, bench 180. I did that by accident,
yeah,
like just by accident. You know, like I just sort of went to the gym and it happened. And I know you were the same. Like by the time you were 19 years old, you were doing some like ridiculous numbers already. You know, I think that's
yeah.
what drew me in because I had a natural ability to do something. Imagine all of this if you didn't have that. Do you reckon you would still be where you are now? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I'll tell you what. Now, you know when you said to me, "Oh, because you hadn't trained for a while, do you reckon when you get back your strength's going to be the same?" And I'm like, "I reckon so." And you're like, "I don't know. I don't think it will." And mind you, so I went back in the gym that first day. I was like, let me just dumbbell press. And Pure Gym only has 50 kilo dumbbell, but I was just like, I was just going up. And I'm like, that still feels easy. I could still press the 50s on an incline. It's like,
wow,
for sets, and it was like, yeah, I still just have that strength. I just have that strength. Some people either have the strength or not. But
Yeah,
I'll tell you this: I think my interest for training hasn't been the same since I stopped strength training because I loved being strong. And
yeah,
now that I don't, and I don't push myself to be strong, I don't have that same desire that I did
right,
back
yeah,
before because I'll be like, right, I did this much weight this last week. Now I need to do that much.
yeah.
Um,
It, it,
because the
it was
folk,
it was a double-edged sword though, because we talked about this before. It used to give you a bit of anxiety. You know, when
yeah,
you had to go into the gym to go and bench like 200, it made you cheat up a bit. But it
yeah, yeah,
was,
yeah,
but that was also the thing that made you like, put
yeah.
a
But
bit.
even still, like, not even maximum weights. I even think like even weights that just seemed impressive to other people.
Right, right, right,
Like
right.
you going in the gym and deadlifting 180, it's impressive to other people
Yeah,
because not a lot of people can do it.
sure. Yeah, definitely. I think
Even though to you it's not a lot, but to most people it is, and you just get like a certain feeling out of it.
I think I'm adapting now. Like so now I can make like so if I go in and bet barbell row 140, relative to me that's not that heavy. And now I like obsessing about making it the most hardest set I can. I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
one
yeah,
140 for 20 reps, but like make it so hard because my
yeah,
mind
yeah.
to mind to muscle connection so good now.
Oh yeah, I know, and you understand that. But the fun you had with training, and I'm sure you're going to say the same, is the fun you had with training when you were squatting 300 pounds was 300 kilo was way different to now. Now it's
Yeah,
kind of like let's just tick that box, and yeah,
yeah.
it's still enjoyment out of the fact that you're progressing in a way you should be, and that's what you need to do. But it's not as fun.
No, definitely not. I think when I think about like my glory years of training, like fun, was probably it probably ended around about 2020.
Yeah,
Like it's still fun. It's not in no way do I see it as a chore, not at all. But it really peaked about 2017, 18, 19. I was super strong. I felt like it was great. I was a worse bodybuilder. I was a worse bodybuilder, and
oh yeah.
was getting injured all the time. But it was so fucking fun. It was so fucking fun. And sometimes I think to myself, shit, I'm never going to bench 200 again. That was fun to me, and that is, but I don't think it's ever going to happen ever again.
Probably
You
not.
know, probably not.
Probably
No,
not.
no.
But I think that the day I tore my pec was the doomsday for me, like for training,
Yeah, yeah, because
because I was
it's
like,
not been the same since that, has it?
no,
Mm.
and that was in 2019. No, end of 2019, so 2020,
Mm.
and then obviously lockdown and that. And at that point, I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. I haven't had that same desire for training like I did back then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that, man. I get that. I part of me wishes I could still do the heavy stuff. I can't. Like psychologically, my body.
Yeah,
I think that I'm strong enough. I think if I pushed it, I could easily beat everything I do. But it's just not worth it because I know
no,
I'm just going to injure myself. I know it. So
and it's like, what do you get out of it, really?
I think if someone said in 3 to 6 months you've got to beat every single thing you've ever done, I would put a lot of money on the fact that I could. But the risk that also comes with that, I could fuck up my bodybuilding further. It could be it.
Mate, I'm telling you, you tear a pec, you're done. That's just then that's why when I see people just training stupid, I'm like, mate, you ain't got a fucking clue. But there's no point you saying that because it's all in retrospect, and they haven't felt that, so they don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a few times like Hunter Labrada. Hunter
Yeah,
Labrada's got to talk. There's a guy, Drew Walker.
yeah.
Drew Walker's a really good bodybuilder, and he's got to talk. There are very few instances where it's okay still, but not very many. Not very
Even
many.
that Hunters, you don't notice it. I sent you and
Yeah,
that
yeah,
picture in
yeah,
a group chat,
yeah.
and you're like, fucking hell, I've never noticed it, mate. As soon as he walks out, that's the first thing I look at.
Well, where you've done it, you're really in tune with that. I feel like. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'll tell you what, Hunter will never win the Olympia for that
Oh
reason.
yeah, yeah,
Not saying that, oh, it's the only reason. Maybe if he didn't have it, but it could be potentially if it came to him and one other guy and it was really close, that will be the factor.
yeah. It's always a thing. It's always going to be a thing. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So
I know, and that's
it's
the
not.
thing. Like, so I think to myself, yeah, the heavy plate, 4 plates and above, probably never again. Maybe, but probably not. Like, it's just playing with fire, and I feel like I'd be devastated. Like, psychologically, I'd be devastated if I did it. You know, so
I think if you did something like that, it will be career ending for you because
my age as
there's,
well,
huh?
because of my age as well.
Well, yeah,
Do
there's
you know
no
what I
coming
mean?
back. And I tell you what, it affects so many things later on. Like, so for me, that torn pec, because that pec is torn, it pulls on my lat. So then I get like different engagement with my lat. Certain stuff, like certain exercise, like pull ups. I can't do pull ups because of that torn pec. I can't. It's
Really?
funny, mate. It's as funny as it sounds. I can't do pull ups because of the torn pec.
That's so weird. I did not know that. Is it
Yeah.
funny with lat pull down as well?
No, no, because
Oh,
with the way I lat pull down is I only ever
yeah,
lat
yeah,
pull
yeah,
down close and almost I pull down here and I bring it in here
yeah, 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 yeah.
rather than like but yeah, like so much stuff you actually don't it affects everything.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Oh
So
man,
now the only thing I actually like about me is still arms. I still seem to keep my arms for some reason.
that's just your genetic disposition, in it. They're not going to go.
Just seem to keep my arms. That's literally my legs, mate. My legs have gone. Like if I showed
No
you my
way.
legs now,
Really?
bro, my legs are fucking
Oh,
skinny
send me a
now.
photo. Send me a
I
photo.
will have to, yeah. I'll need to show you. Like, but I'll tell you why. It's because I'm constantly getting tattooed. I can't train them
Right, right.
because like all this year, like since the show, so since April to now, so that's what 8 months. I've had both of my legs tattooed, so my whole lower body. That's a lot of fucking tattooing.
Yeah, fucking hell.
So you can't even train because your legs are constantly like sore. So
Yeah,
I've literally not trained my legs all year,
yeah, shit.
and my legs are still
I bet
okay,
they're not
but
as
they're
bad as
not.
you made out. I bet they're not as bad.
Yeah, they're not as bad, but they're not what I'm used to. You know, my legs have
Yeah,
always been
yeah,
fairly. I've always been quite happy with my legs, and like now they're just nah.
yeah. I get that. Yeah. Oh,
So
you
like
doing, mate?
compared to like most people, because I was doing legs the other day, and I had them like leggings on, and this guy was like, "Oh, your legs are looking really big." I was like, "What are you on about? My legs look
Yeah,
fucking tiny."
yeah. But is it a guy that knew you? Does he know you?
He knows me, but
Okay.
he's not a bodybuilder.
Yeah. But I was going to say, if he's not aware of what you used to have, then he might just think,
Yeah,
you know,
but then I
stop
just
it.
sound like one of those old guys. Oh, I used to bench
Oh yeah,
140,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
used
yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
That's you, man. Oh, my legs used to be this big. Oh, yeah. Mate, I'm gonna
well,
have to fucking feed this guy. He's doing my head in.
yeah. Let's
Yeah,
wrap up. My plan is to finish both of the legs by the end of the year, maybe potentially run into January a little bit, and at that point, I can start training my legs properly again. And I think my legs will come back quite quickly anyway.
is your love for training now?
What's that?
Are you enjoying your training at the moment? Is it actually like flowing well, other than the legs, obviously?
No, I just kind of go and so like the other night, like I said, so I went to see my mum. I went in the gym and I was just like, I did a bit of chest, but like I just did some flies, maybe like some incline barbell and things like that. Nothing heavy, kind of just. But I'm just like whatever, just kind of like going for the motion, just to feel a bit better that I've gone. Then the other day, I went to the gym and it's like 5:30, and it was fucking busy in there. I did two exercises for back. I did like some pull downs and then some pull downs again, and it was so busy I couldn't get on any machines. I was like, I can't be fucking bothered. I left. I did 45 minutes of cardio, like walking, just because it was
Yeah,
freezing. I thought, but mate, no, I can't, I don't care. As long as I've got arms, that's all I care for.
yeah. It's weird because it started to come back again, but now it's gone again.
It's because, mate, it's because, like I said, I haven't got the fucking time. Like this morning, like I said, I got up, I recorded 4 videos. I had a call with that guy from the clinic. Then I had to go out to do something, and then we came back. Then that bird coming to get her pup, and it was just I just not fucking got time. I just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
Like because I just do so many other things. It's just the
It's
time.
just it's fallen down the list of priorities, so it
Yeah,
just it doesn't. Yeah, it's fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't think I ever get small
No, 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 no.
just because I've trained for so long. I still carry the same
It would
size, but
it would take you years of no effort to get small.
oh yeah,
Years. And that's if you weren't trying. But the thing is, you're still taking over. You know what I mean?
I think also it's because I know that like maintaining 80% of my physique is going to require 10% of the effort it does to actually grow.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I just know if I went on a cycle within about 3 months, it'll come back quite
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, but
It's always within reaching distance, you know. Wait, stop it. All right, I'm gonna have to wrap up because this guy's been in.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sound
All right,
yeah.
mate.
All right, mate. Chat to you
Pleasure
next
as
week.
always, man. Have a good one.
You too.